And this episode is a kind of advertisement, or so to start with, this is actually this is telling you the truth, this is an outright advertisement for my recent book. But actually, so I said kind of because I wanted to say kind of because so maybe it's fine. So in the case of the terms of service of this application, or terms in terms of the term in terms, or in the aspect of the, or according to the term of the service of Spotify, which is what I'm saying. And I think advertising my own product in this by using an episode of podcast is fine. So I think it is fine to advertise my own the products of somebody by using or by consuming some episodes of their podcast. And but actually, so I just said I mistakenly anyway. Please understand that so I mistakenly said a kind of advertisement for which is the purpose of this episode. And anyway, so hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. And so I'm sorry for my so this disorganized manner of, or disorganized method of speaking English language. And one of the reasons is that I'm a non-native speaker of English language, and to start with, so I speak out my own mother tongue in this manner. So my mother tongue is another language than, or to start with, my mother tongue is an East Asian language, which is a language used in that huge insular nation, and which is located to the east of China. And English is English is far from my own mother tongue. And anyway, so I can't speak English natively, which means what I'm speaking is a version of English language I'm speaking not natively. Anyway, so I should come to the main track of this episode, and so I should tell you the title of this episode. And to start with, the title of this episode is almost the title of that recent book I'm going to talk about. And wait a moment, please. So this time I created an article of my blog. So I have blogs. So including or not containing, but including my own adult blog. In which I use Japanese language. So I have blogs, and I have an account of Medium, and I have accounts of for example Twitter, Facebook, and other social networking services. Anyway, which is a situation of my internet accounts, or online accounts I frequently use. And by the way, so I created an article of blog. To start with, the purpose of the creation of that article of blog is the advertisement of my recent book, which is the title of which is Tell Me Your Stories. I'm going to tell you again. The title of my recent book is Tell Me Your Stories. Tell Me Your Stories. Tell Me Your Stories, which is the title of my recent book. And I'm recording this episode in April in 2023, April 2023, which is the time of this recording. And I don't tell you the exact date of this recording, because I don't like to be identified by any of you, or I don't want anybody. I don't want anybody to identify me, or identify who I am, which is why, so for avoiding getting identified, so I don't give you detailed or elaborate information in podcast. And so maybe anyway, I should tell you the recent poem book, or recent anyway. To start with, what I published is a book containing and comprising some porn novels. So, which means, so there is a book in which some porn novels are written, which is the structure of that book I recently published. And so the title, anyway, by the way, the title of this episode is Tell Me Your Stories, which is the title of my recent book. That's it. And the conclusion is, I published a new book. That's it. This is all, actually. This is all in the case of this episode. So if you are not interested in my own porn book, or if you aren't interested in, or if you have no interest in adult contents to start with in general, so please stop listening to this episode, because what you're going to listen to, or what you may hear is a waste of time, because if you are not interested in adult contents, or creating adult contents. And I should tell you that, so as I told you, I created a blog post, or I created an article of blog for writing about, and for advertising my that poem book I recently published. And I should pick up some part of this composition. And anyway, so this time the published book is the following, which is a sentence written in the article of my blog, or of one of my blogs. And this book contains the following articles of Medium. So I frequently, not so frequently, but I occasionally post porn novels into Medium, or I post chapters of porn novels into Medium, and this time I comprised some of them and created, or I comprised and not encompassing, but I packed some of those novels, posted into Medium, into a book, which is anyway. So as I have told you, which is that is the structure of that poem book I recently published. And what is included is memoir, case studies, and gray. I said 4 words, or three titles of porn novels, which means, so if you have an account of Medium, and if you can read articles of Medium without any limit, so you don't have to pay money for that book I published, because you can read my porn novels posted in Medium. And this time I contained the three porn novels into that porn book, and those porn novels contained in that book are memoir. Not memoir. The memoir is the title of a porn novel, and another porn novel is case studies, and still another porn novel is gray. That's it. And which is why, so anyway, I don't speak out the entire composition of the blog post. And anyway, and another special point is that I created those porn novels when I was creating pictures with captions, and that story is written in the article of my blog, in the article of that blog I'm talking about. And actually, so maybe most of you, or some of you know that I have an account of ImageFab, and in which I posted some pictures with captions, or erotic collages, and some of which have those porn novels which are contained into the book I published. I'm talking about in this episode. And Anyway, if you get interested in that Bond novel, so anyway, buying that Bond novel is the fastest manner. But actually, I'm thinking of writing the link of that post of blog into the description column of this episode, so that you can access that description column, and you can find out the link of my blog, and through which and by accessing which you can use the article of that blog, and you can find us the account of ImageFab, and the articles of Medium, and of course, which those articles of Medium are the porn novels that the book contains, or that which are written which are so incorporated into the porn book. I'm talking about right now, and this is all. And this is, by the way, this is the siren of an ambulance, maybe ambulance or fire engine or whatever it is. And anyway, so this is the siren of something in this country. And by the way, so I live in Japan, which is an Eastern nation, developed nation in East Asia. So anyway, I should tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode again. And the title is Tell Me Your Stories, which is the title of my recent book. And the conclusion is I published a new book. That's it. And by accessing the description column of this episode, you can find us the link of book, and the link of the article of my blog. I wrote for advertising that book, and so that anyway. So if you'd like to get more information about that book, anyway, please access the description column of this episode, so that you can find out necessary information about that. So that's it. Thank you very much for everything. See you.